Remember Mike Holmes? He's here. No one will recognize him. Mike Holmes adorned 25 Ontario homes in 2015. He approved their dwellings. He was trustworthy, so buyers paid more. 9 years later, diggers arrived. Nothing was fixed by them. Their job was to demolish houses. His trusted family lost everything. The man who made his fortune repairing others' mistakes made the worst mistake. The real story will wow you. Born in Halton Hills on August 3, 1963, Mike Holmes. He didn't know his family was destitute. Kraft supper and hot dogs fed everyone for under $2 every night. His parents? Jim and Shirley never made their kids feel their troubles. They looked for deals late at night. Shirley could make 7 meals from one chicken. The kids thought they were middle class, despite their worn shoes and hand-me-down clothes. The reality was buried with love and care by their parents. Mike was forever changed by his calm strength. He was raised to believe that people shouldn't suffer in silence, especially not from poor building or dishonest work. Mike began accompanying his father around job sites at 3 years old. Jim picked up weekend construction work while working at GM. Mike was more than a passenger. His learning was rapid. By 4, he could feel pipes and understand electrical wiring. People noticed. Mike detected a severe plumbing error on one job that would have caused harm. Father got $500 bonus, which meant 2 weeks of food. Mike didn't play. He addressed actual issues. These weren't classroom lessons, they were life lessons. Mike completely rewired their house at 6. Old wiring in the home was risky. Jim trained Mike how to fix it because calling an electrician was too expensive. The boy installed wiring over 6 weekends, changed outlets, and improved safety. This multimeter user knew how to ground circuits. The city inspector didn't think a child did it, but after verifying every link, he was shocked. One of the year's best electrical projects, he remarked. At 6, that was mastery, not skill. Jim's instruction was unique. He always asked Mike, "Why am I doing this?" He made Mike think through everything: drilling, sawing, material selection. They'd stop and discuss if Mike didn't know. It wasn't copying, it was comprehension. Mike once asked his dad about a wood kind. Mike was right. His inquiry improved his choices. At 7, he could stroll onto any location and detect issues big men missed. His mother was daring too. Catholic homes did not discuss sex education in the 1960s. Shirley did. Mom spoke frankly and politely with kids. She taught children to question and challenge bad ideas. Even the youngest youngsters spoke at her family sessions. She appeared too relaxed to several neighbors. Her true self was ahead of her time. Mike became known for his straightforward communication. He repeated similar method when interviewing homeowners on TV. Clear, considerate, and concise. Mike struggled in school. He battled teachers who hated correction. He knew more about construction than them and was vocal. They labeled him disruptive. He termed them reckless. He quit school in 11th grade because he couldn't stand terrible instruction. He was right. He then became a valued construction voice, proving he was right to confront the system. He founded his first company at 19, no solo effort. He had 13 workers. Teenagers managed payroll, insurance, deadlines, and clients. Mike proven himself to be trustworthy despite his youth. He meticulously examined everything and ensured accuracy. Clients that tried him didn't regret it. At 21, he ran a business and had a child. Mike managed projects and changed nappies while his pals partied. He had to make enough money to feed his family, pay his team, buy tools, and finish the task. It was hard, but he did. His business started with doing things correctly, not just generating money. He took longer, utilized better materials, and sometimes mended things himself. This gained trust, but it nearly cost him everything in the 1990s. Construction fell in North America during the recession. Clients abandoned quality suddenly. Regardless of job quality, they wanted the cheapest choice. The market was full of cheap contractors, and homeowners couldn't compete. Not even his reputation saved him. He fired staff one by one, selling his firm building. He lost contracts. His dream was falling before him. Suffocating pressure. His family life was already tense. He was married at 19, a father at 21, and running a failed business with 3 kids. Stress from work and long hours made things worse at home. Fights with his wife increased. They were young, stressed, and in debt. Holmes faced divorce at 30. It went beyond heartbreak. It meant court bills, child support, and dividing what was left. His business was gone. His marriage was also ending. The worst blow followed. Holmes received a devastating call a month after the breakup. His father, Jim Holmes, died. A rare accident. He fell down a handrail-less basement stairs. He died quickly from a broken neck. Jim was more than Mike's dad. He was his mentor and teacher, teaching him everything about tools and construction, performing the job right. His father believed in him when no one else did. He left Mike when he needed him most. Never was timing so awful. Mike had hit bottom. Nobody paid him, no company, and no automobile. He had to sell it to pay bills. Losing an automobile meant losing employment for a contractor. From a successful business owner to a man who could barely feed his kids. Bankruptcy ensued. He felt shame, defeat, and alone. At an age when most individuals are constructing their future, was barely surviving. Everything hit him simultaneously. The business failure, divorce, father's death, financial disaster, and bankruptcy humiliation. It felt like life was chasing him everywhere. He was no longer a provider. He had lost his values maker and didn't know how to rebuild. Something kept him going. The next chapter was unknown, but he knew one thing. He had to move on. Mike Holmes was a stagehand on a modest HGTV show in 2001, constructing sets while dreaming big, wanted to educate homeowners and safeguard them from fraudulent contractors. Television networks laughed at his idea. They believed home renovations were over. Not a harsh contractor pointing out fraud, executives wanted pristine, gleaming renovation shows. He wanted to set things right, but they didn't see his potential. Holmes maintained his idea for over a year as the industry rejected him. Everything changed in 2003. Alliance Atlantis programming director Michael Quast saw Holmes on set. Holmes gave no show pitch. His goal wasn't to impress. He was shouting about contractors' scams. Later, Quast stated, he'd babble non-stop with neck veins bulging out. That passion was strong, wanted no camera time. Quast pushed him to attempt despite his contractor claims. After he did, everything moved. The show Homes on Homes didn't air for another year. The proposal has finally gained a supporter. Getting the show on broadcast was just the beginning. Finding willing participants, that was difficult. Nobody wanted Holmes at home. He was a huge person with tools, not a celebrity. Booming voice. The staff got creative. Flyers were made from photos of their electrician with butt cracks. Tired of bad deals? Handed out posters on busy Toronto streets, at Home Depot parking lots, and any place else he could. It was embarrassing but effective. Calls came slowly. Homes on Homes debuted on HGTV Canada in 2003 as another house restoration show, but it quickly grew. The show was in over 90 countries within a few years. Canada, Australia, the UK, New Zealand, and South Africa tuned in. They didn't notice dazzling design or kind hosts. Mike Holmes disassembled and remodeled bad improvements. He was straightforward. Viewers worldwide appreciated his rough, honest style. HGTV said one of his episodes had the biggest ratings ever. Some episodes aired over 20 times weekly. His 2009 gigs broke records and were successful. Holmes had over 300,000 viewers every episode, compared to 30,000 to 50,000 for other HGTV series. 10 times more than usual. It redefined networks' expectations for house improvement shows. The Gemini Award for Best Lifestyle Series went to Homes in New Orleans that year. Homes on Homes rose to the top of Canadian HGTV's ratings due to its loyalty. Fans watched repeatedly. They returned week after week, sometimes many times. For a show about fixing terrible jobs, that audience was unprecedented. Still, Holmes made house improvement personal, urgent, and genuine. Holmes established a smart media empire, not just one show. He established Homes Inspection in 2009 to focus on bad home inspections. It broadcast 52 episodes over 2 seasons. That show revealed inspection industry failings and provided obvious warnings. In 2012, Holmes Makes It Right ran for 2 years. He took on greater renovation problems this time, but he didn't stop. He expanded Holmes in 2016. Buy It Right, identifying issues before home buying. IMDb gave that show a 9.110 rating with 44 reviews. Every new series covered a distinct house ownership stage. They completed a buying, fixing, and safe living voyage. Not simply TV success, but trust set Holmes apart. Forbes named him the 3rd most trustworthy celebrity in 2012. Only Morgan Freeman and Ron Howard were better. He defeated Michael J. Fox, Betty White, and Tom Hanks. Reader's Digest ranked him Canada's 2nd most trustworthy figure, behind environmentalist David Suzuki. Rankings weren't random. A comprehensive research of over 7,000 celebrities across 46 personality traits yielded them. When the Forbes list came out, his agent said her phone kept ringing with offers, but Holmes turned them down. He only promoted products he trusted. Behind fame and numbers was hard effort. Holmes has performed over 220 home restorations on camera. These were heavy jobs. Many involved gutting homes and starting anew. During his TV career, he also did 52 thorough home inspections. Showed how to fix major issues: weak wiring, plumbing, foundation cracks, deadly mold. Not simply blaming. He was in the muck, demolishing, wiring, plumbing, and rebuilding. One of the most credible TV experts with over 35 years as a qualified contractor. His work was a vast visual aid for homeowners, builders, inspectors, and students. He made mistakes into lessons and legacy. Alexandra Lorax, Mike Holmes's first wife, 3 children. They were originally interested in construction, but each ended up in the profession in a different way. Amanda, the oldest, refused to be filmed early on. While out of the spotlight, she managed corporate operations. Sherry, born 1987, wants to travel. She had no other goal. Building wasn't her thing. In 2008, at 21, everything changed. Sherry went her dad in New Orleans to assist build a hurricane-resistant home for a woman who lost everything. It was filmed for TV, and she was afraid. A male-dominated job location has only one woman. Still, something clicked. That vacation changed everything. Work, especially accessible design and smart homes, became her passion. She was a Habitat for Humanity Women Build Ambassador. In 2017 and 2018, framing and tiling became her specialty, earning her $10,000 to $20,000 for speaking engagements. Mike Jr., born in 1989, didn't want to follow his father. Steps. Wanted to fight fires. He worked summer construction at 14 to make money. His passion of work grew as he worked. He learned engineering and construction, was licensed, and led huge works alone. He hosted TV and loved woodworking. His greatest challenge? On camera, building his father's high-tech dream garage. Holmes' Family Rescue, a TV series, was launched in December 2021 as the family improved, a success for 25.5 million first-season viewers. It was one of cable's top 3 non-sports shows. Mike, Sherry, and Mike Jr. assisted homeowners recover from construction disasters on the show. Audiences praised the skill, emotion, and humor. 12 episodes comprised the spring 2023 second season. Starting June 4, 2025, HGTV returned with 8 new episodes for Season 3 after a 2-year hiatus. A 0.25 average rating and 774,000 viewers per episode were maintained. Best part? The show went beyond repairs. Working together drew the family closer. Mike stated, "We're friends now, not just teachers." The link wasn't always there. Mike revealed a horrible truth. He was absent for most of his children's childhood. "You have no life in construction," he replied. "I rarely saw my kids as children." It hurt harder because his father, Jim H., had shaped him most. Taught Mike everything about building at 6. His dad was Superman. At 30, Mike's life went apart. Recession bankrupted his business. His marriage ended. 1 month later, his dad died. He fell on unguarded basement steps. Very cruel. Mike never thought he'd have time with his kids as adults, but he did. "Without them working with me," he continued, "I'd scarcely see them." The next generation strengthened that link. Sherry married contractor Blake Steen in 2018. Callie Kay and Oakland Summer were their daughters in 2019 and 2021. Mike feels proud as a grandfather. He enjoys the position. New series, Homes on Homes. Building a Legacy will feature additional behind-the-scenes family experiences. Zapier and Mike's partner sticks by him. He names her his wife despite their marriage being certified. She helped him recover after his divorce and pushed him into TV. For nearly 20 years, she has kept a low profile with no social media. Family company went beyond TV. Mike founded the Holmes Foundation for Skilled Trades. The past 2 decades have seen over 155 scholarships and bursaries awarded, totaling $240,000. They target trade students, especially women in construction. Only Conestoga College won 24 technical prizes. Some bursaries cost $2,000. It goes beyond money. Keeping pupils from dropping out due to finances. Mike's team aimed to break a Guinness World Record for most people, hammering nails at Skills Ontario, which the foundation supports. Mike made his trusted name a business. He makes millions from workwear and tool endorsements. His name isn't given lightly. He applies his brand-building make-it-right principles to every product. Because Mike trusts gear, tools, and materials, others trust them. Charity is another use of his popularity. He raised almost $19.5 million as an SOS Children's Villages Canada ambassador since 2005. He went to Central Africa to compare sponsored and unsponsored kids. The trip altered him and Sherry. She sponsored a youngster and stated it was one of her most powerful experiences. But Mike Holmes's trip wasn't without controversy. Terrace Wood opened in Meaford, Ontario in 2015, a 25-home boutique development. The project had a strong pitch. Holmes approved. Holmes was funded by famed Canadian constructor Mike Holmes. His name alone reassured buyers. He promised to fix it on TV. However, one of Canada's greatest building scandals ensued. 14 of the 25 properties had major flaws. Roofs leaked. The wrong-sized beams supported second levels. Mold spreads from water intrusion. Failed HVAC systems. Some homes were dangerous, forcing people to evacuate for a year. No repairs were made by third-line homes. Tarion, Ontario's home warranty provider, paid for repairs. The situation worsened. 2 modern, big 2-year-old residences were demolished in 2024. No repairs, remodels, demolition. Crushed by diggers. A third house awaits demolition. Scared residents watched. Fayart Johnson found his neighbor's home demolished upsetting. His house was danger-rated too. Engineers warned the second level may collapse onto the first. Then the financial details emerged. Holmes didn't merely support the project. His company, Sure Homes Holdings Limited, offered the builder two $390,000 private mortgages at 10%. That money bought 25 terrace wood properties. Promotional materials didn't indicate this. Holmes appears as an expert alone. He now appeared to have a financial stake in the project's success and construction. Third Line Homes closed in 2019. The following step felt betrayal. Holmes bought the first terrace wood house, appeared with it for commercials, and sold it for $790,000. That house was later sued as defective. The couple thought they were buying a safe, Holmes-endorsed home. The result was structural and legal concerns. Holmes was sued for $8 million in 2021 for misrepresenting themselves as comp owners and advertising third-line businesses when they were not. Home inspectors felt a single terrace wood house was part of the package. Not to Holmes. AGM Renovations received a complete endorsement. His voice and visage were everywhere in commercials. Radio, TV, Internet. He advised against hiring unscrupulous contractors. Trust AGM, he stated. Ontario's Electrical Safety Authority was investigating AGM behind the scenes. CBC News confessed in February 2025. AGM employed unlicensed electricians, skipped permits, and performed risky electrical work. Unfinished projects, holes in walls, and exposed wires plagued families. Unfinished bathroom renovations cost one Barrie family nearly $73,000. This disaster remained for nearly a year, had teamed with the ESA to promote electrical safety, appearing in videos about hiring licensed pros and securing licenses. Yet the corporation he promoted broke all those restrictions. All AGM references disappeared after the probe. Holmes' team removed all video ads and the endorsement page. There was no explanation. Holmes' faithful customers suffered silence. Peter McHale paid $73,450 for a makeover alone based on Holmes' recommendation. After things went wrong, he contacted Holmes' company. At first, they offered aid, then nothing. No response, no solution. Worse, the ESA that had worked with Holmes to promote safety was now investigating the company he promoted. A contradiction was too huge to overlook. Some tried for one customer. They're mismatched. Just days after the CBC story, AGM collapsed. CEO Ivan Atanasov wrote a letter on February 15, 2025, condemning media coverage for their brand damage. The company closed instantly. Their BBB complaint count was 46. Half-finished kitchens and unsafe electrical systems plagued families. Some spent over $85,000 and required more to repair the damage. Behind the cheery ads and promises, people trusted Mike Holmes. Make it right was their belief. However, they received broken homes, promises, and lives. The name previously meant trust is now linked to two of Canada's worst refurbishment disasters. Today, emotional, financial, and bodily devastation persists.